Alrighty, what's up, y'all? Welcome to today's recap. Another interesting day in the markets. I'm always going to say that. I feel like it's always an interesting day in the markets, especially right now. Things are running. Things are getting hot. MBSC, I already have it open. But for me, it ended up being another red day. So you guys are getting an interesting recap the past couple of days, considering that yesterday was a significant red day, and today it looked like I wanted to match the day, and I ended up having a little bit of a larger loss. But this is part of the game. It's not always perfect. There's a lot of things that I need to assess today coming into tomorrow. More so just getting in the right headspace after getting chopped around once again by FOXO. FOXO. So I'll get into that right off the bat. I just want to show you guys. Ended up being another $400 red day. So that is significant amounts. Nothing crazy. If you saw yesterday's video, nothing that I have, exceeds losses that I've had in the past. So definitely a significant hits to the account, but nothing that we aren't able to bounce back from, or that I'm able to bounce back from. But I do want to get into this because it wasn't the most, I want to say, ideal trading. Yes and no. The patterns were there, but this stock, for example, well, let's get into the trade with FOXO. So yesterday, if you saw the video, I got chopped around in this intent to have a breakout, and at the end of the day, I ended up getting back in as it was holding that 90-cent price. I had 900 shares right here in the low 90s. This morning, it was gapping up. It gapped up all the way to the 120s. So that kind of gave me the signal, well, like, this thing is coming back and the price is holding. It seems like it wants to break out. So in the low ones right here, I started adding more size, ideally risking again this area in the low 90s, high 80s, which was yesterday's support. But I didn't think it would get down there, considering the strength that I had in pre-market and the gap up. And this is exactly what we're looking at. So this thing opened up. I'm gonna do the 1 minute chart so you can kind of get a better idea of what I was looking at. So this thing opened up, and right off the bat, it just kind of slammed. Me thinking that this right here was going to be the lowest it would go, that support area in the mid 90s. I got a little too confident because of that gap up, and it was just showing like it wanted to break out. Added a little bit more, so I ended up getting another 2,000 shares of this stock with an average of 98 cents, and kind of gave us a little bounce and then just ate crap. So I ended up exiting my full position around here for a $144 loss. It wasn't nothing huge, but it was frustrating at that point because already 2 days in a row I've been fighting this stock. It is a choppy stock. I already knew that. I've seen how it has played out the previous week. I still decided to go for it because this could have a significant upside momentum. That wasn't the case. This thing is still holding around, so it might still do it. It might still have that breakout, super choppy breakout. But at this point, I'm staying away from it. I give two shits about what this stock does moving forward. I don't want to trade it anymore. I'm just going to keep it on watch just to fucking see what it does. But it's just, when you feel like it gets personal with the stock, that's your sign to just let it go in a way. Because now you start just trading it with the intent to make money back from the stock. And that is not the right approach that you want to have on the market or any given stock, because you start tying emotions into your trading. So if I try to go for this again tomorrow and then probably end up taking another loss, like, I'm just going to be fully done, which I'm already fully done with it. Like, price action is stupid. So I'm going to just let it go. I'm gonna let it go. It might break out. We'll see. I'm gonna just literally throw it at the end. I might take it off my scanner. So I ended up being my trade on Foxwell, another loss on it. And now BTCT. So yesterday this thing ran a little crazy. It went from being in the $2-3 area, going all the way to $17, coming back down and having a bounce. I explained yesterday's video how this is one of the patterns that I like, but it could be a little risky, but it's because it could seem like you're kind of trying to time the bottom to where it's going to bounce. But it could be, on this stock is a $4 or $5 bounce. That's a significant percentage, which if you catch the bounce, it could be a nice return. This morning in pre-market, it went all the way up to 16, 17 yesterday, came all the way back down to the $8 area, and in pre-market it just pretty much broke out. Literally went crazy in these candles right here, an hour before market open. Went all the way up to $26, $26.50, and then it just started halting down. So my idea right here was that yesterday's high, which is this $17, $15, damn, see, I don't even see that fully. The 15 right here was an actual the bigger support level. Once it came down to these levels right here, I actually started buying. I started getting some shares with the intent of this giving us a bounce back into the low 22s and maybe even retest the highs, as there's a lot of people trading this, a lot of shorts that want this to come down, so they get really aggressive, and then you have dip buyers, kind of like what I tried, wanting to pretty much play the bounce or even another breakout. So around this area, I had 150 shares with a 1790 average, and ideally I was risking the low 16 area. It was a little bit larger of a risk than I would have wanted, and this is the best example of how even years into the game you will still fall into your own traps, and plans and everything will just kind of go right out the window. Risk management. So for me right here, I was almost risking pretty much $2 with 150 shares. It's a $300 loss that I had initially kind of in mind, with the idea that this can go up anywhere between $5 to $6. So it wasn't the best risk to reward. Now that I'm really observing this and dissecting my trade on it. So getting in again in this area right here, I was kind of risking the lows in the 16. I was nervous in the trade because I just had significant size considering my accounts, and it was fighting. It was kind of consolidating. Kept coming down to the low 16s. Right here, it tested up to 19. So at this point in this candle right here, I really thought oh, well, here we go. It's going to have that bounce that I'm looking for. And it right away rejected it, came all the way down here. I kind of panic sold some of my shares, and then it just kind of hung around again. In this drop right here, I had my stop in the low 16 area, so it fully sold me out, came down to the 1550s, and then pretty much had that bounce that I was looking for right here into the $21 area. So again, another frustrating trade where I felt like I was kind of fighting the stock. At this point, I was kind of mentally checked out. I had exhausted my buying power for the day as well in my cash account, so I just kind of sat back the rest of the day. Again, I took losses that I guess that were on good trades, but on good plans or good kind of setup with the right thesis, but at the same time it wasn't. Foxwell was just a very choppy stock from the start, so I maybe gave it more chances than I should have. BTC2 right here, it just was a risky trade, trying to catch that bounce, that reversal bounce. Normally those will work out when you're feeling like you're really in the zone and you're just kind of super in there. I think I was already a little bit thrown off for my trade in FOXO. So this right here is me just really dissecting my trades and more so the losses that I had in them, because those are exactly the types of lessons that you want to get from your trading, and see what you have to work on. So for me, coming into tomorrow, I just want to sit on my hands and really wait to see if there's something that's screaming at me to get into the trade. Because right here, I think this one even was me just trying to get back some of the money that I lost yesterday and that I had lost in the morning on FOXO. So I think I didn't have kind of like the right intentions of let me trade well. It's just kind of like, well, this is one of those setups that I've seen play out before. Let me get into it. But the signal right there was the way that I was feeling. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier, I was nervous in the trade. I literally felt nervous. I had my fidget spinner going full force. These little things help me a lot actually with trading. If you guys don't have one of these, I recommend them. And yeah, like it's just, that's a signal right there that either you have too much size or you're in a play that you're not 100% convinced that you should be in. So again, ended up taking a $260 loss on BTCT. Significant loss again for the accounts, putting me at a little bit over $400 red for the day, considering yesterday's also. So it's been a little bit of a drawdown so far this week. We still have 2 trading days. Let's see, what presents itself. I think at this point I really want to be very, very careful with what I get into and make sure that I'm only getting in the best trades, things that I identify as one, not only my patterns, but something that has a good range and a good risk to reward. So going into tomorrow, I think BTCT is still in play. The way that I see myself playing this one is if it actually comes down pretty hard into these levels from yesterday. I think even the closing price from yesterday right here in the $10 area would offer us a significant bounce, but I want to be really careful, not trying to guess bottoms. I want to see it come down to a level, maybe have a bounce, and then come back down to that same level, and then if it holds it, then that gives us a signal that it's a significant level to play off of. Or I'm gonna just watch this thing for the next few days and see what it does. If it continues running, that'd be cool, because it gives us more opportunities, in the sense that the higher it goes, the harder the drop is gonna be, so the better that bounce will be eventually. So we just have to play it by ear. I'm gonna see what happens again in the next few days, and we'll go from there. Like I mentioned, I'm done trading this stock right here, FOXO. I might just even take it off watch. We'll see. But I'm not planning on touching that again, because it's just a frustrating stock to trade. There's a few other things that are running right now. MBST today popped up out of nowhere as well. Traded 1 billion shares. Holy shit. So again, there's one of these popping up almost every single day, where it's trading almost 1 billion shares. So that gives you a signal that there's a lot of activity in the market, because there's weeks like in October and even September where there was just nothing for a week or two. And a stock will pop up randomly and trade 500 to 100 million shares kind of thing, and that'd be like the biggest for the week, or for the day. And right now, almost every single day, we're getting these types of stocks. And timing these, knowing which one is going to do this type of move, is essentially gambling in my eyes. It doesn't fit any one of my patterns. I mean, if you really zone in, people like to, play different patterns where something is running pre-market and then they play the continuation on it. If that's, someone's strategy, then absolutely go for that. For me, I like things that set up with stocks that are running for several days, because I'm either playing a green day on it, or I'm playing a huge drop. But for example, this one, a pattern that I like would probably be like this type of bounce, but it didn't come down enough for me to want to play a bounce on it. So I'm just going to be watching MVST, see what it does. Zero was the one that traded almost 1 billion shares these past 2 days. Today it traded a little bit less, but it's still kind of in play right here, this thing. I think if it continues to hold right here, it can probably even test for a breakout, or it might just crap out. maybe offer a first green day. Trump Media stock, I still have it on watch. It's been rather slow pretty much since the election. Hasn't really done much, so just kind of having it there. GNS looks super choppy. Not sure what's going on. QBT, actually, I'm gonna put this a little bit, or QUBT, this stock right here, traded significant volume today and had a pretty nice move. So we'll put this on watch as well, see what it does tomorrow. Other than that, CLDI also looking very choppy. I'll leave you guys with that for today. So you're getting to see this bit of a drawdown, and for you to get that perspective of how trading is not a something where you're making money every single day, even years after being in the game. Obviously, have a lot more work to do in terms of just continuing to show up every single day. Really analyzing and dissecting my trades and my losses so that I can use those lessons moving forward. It also shows you, how trading is not for people who are very who don't like risk or have very low risk tolerance, because I'm trading right now for this specific little project with a $5,000 account. So losing $800 in the span of 2 days, for someone that could be like, oh my God. For me, I've been there before. I know I can dig myself out of this little hole that I just got into the past 2 days. Ideally, you'll be seeing that on video as I'm recording for the rest of the month. But again, this is definitely not for everyone. The same way that every type of career is not for everyone either. Not everyone's a doctor, because that shit takes a lot of years and time and some type of passion towards it. Same thing with day trading. You have to be someone who is playing the long-term game, and then you're open to these types of things, and you're not going to go crazy for losing some money. Yeah, pretty much that's it for today, guys and gals. I don't know who's watching these videos. Leave some comments. But I came to say hi to you guys today. She's my assistant. Some days I have her here trading with me. She's the one that, you know what? Actually, today's loss was your fault, Raya. I told you we should have not gone into that trade, but you suggested otherwise. So, example right there, blaming others. Another thing that people need to work on, because the only person we can blame in this game is yourself. You have no coworkers, you have no boss, you have no supervisor, you have no one telling you what to do. So everything you do right here is 100% on you. Another thing that for a lot of people is something new, because they're accustomed to working in jobs where they have supervisors, they have coworkers, they have people overseeing them and telling them what to do and what not to do. Here you just have yourself. Ideally, if you have trading buddies, you can check in with them, but even then they're not going to be telling you, hey, don't get in that trade, or hey, get into this trade. And if you are taking that approach, that's just for longevity wise, that's not going to work out, because people aren't always going to be there to trade with you or to tell you what to do. So something to definitely have in mind as well. Okay, I'll leave you guys with that. Catch you on the next video. Peace.